Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's CNCF TAG Environmental Sustainability Meeting. Today is Wednesday, the 21st of February. And this meeting falls under the CNCF Code of Conduct, which can be summarized to be just awesome people, great to each other, and welcoming in the community. Thanks, everybody, for joining. The link to the meeting notes is in chat. So if you would like, would be great if you could add yourself to attendees list. So we don't have too many items. So I think there should be enough time to talk about anything you would like. So feel free to add your open discussion items down here. And we will start with welcoming any new attendees or people who are just showing up for a long time or whatever. So if you would like to introduce yourself, feel free. Yeah.
Well, I can talk a bit. I tried, in the summer, in the autumn, to take a part of it, and then job took over. Now I got some more time again, so I wanted to get back and see how I can participate and help.
Awesome. It's always great to see you. All right. So there's always time to just introduce yourself also in the future if you like, or in chat. But we can move on. Yes, we can move on to the working group updates, starting with working group comms. I'm not sure if Kara cannot make it today. She has to travel. Not sure. I don't see Trisha in this meeting. And other people from working group comms, I think, are also not here. Claire is not here. So, I think Kara gave like also in chat like a short update. So tomorrow is the working group comms meeting again. It's every Thursday. It's at the same time as this meeting. It's half an hour. A lot of the work is now focusing on KubeCon. So in 1 month is KubeCon. There are a bunch of issues open to kind of try our best so we make the best appearance possible at the conference. So we will have a booth, a mini booth this time. It's every day during the conference. So starting, I think it's start Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the morning. So until I think it closes at 12:30, and then another project will take over. So we have a part-time booth. So this is a great place just to meet any people. There is initial open, one of those here at the top. Let me see. Booth schedule, right? So there's a booth schedule in process. So we kind of try our best that we always have 2 people or more at the booth. So if you would like to talk with any one of us, you can also check out the booth. The people should be there. But it's also just a great place, I think, to talk about cloud-native sustainability. And also just to forward people, if you are talking about this and people are interested, just send them to the booth, and it's a good place to talk about this. Right. So also some other stuff. So we are working again on trying to get a good overview of the conference in terms of what are the talks to check out if you're interested in sustainability. So this year we have 2 keynotes focusing on sustainability. One is, I think, on Wednesday, the opening keynote, and one is on Friday. There are, again, we have the maintainer talk, this time from Christina and from Antonio. And there are also a bunch of more events. So there's, for example, the hackathon, the UN Sustainability Goals hackathon. which is also a great event. So a bunch of stuff about sustainability. And yeah. So there's actually a lot happening in comms. So I don't think I covered it all. But there's the meeting tomorrow to check out otherwise. Or I don't know, Christina or anybody here. Is there like anything you would like to call out about working group comms?
Yeah, I can maybe give a brief status since no one from the comms working group is there. But I think it's right now mainly goes into preparations for KubeCon and Cloud Native Con Europe. Just basically getting an overview of all the activities that we're going to have, both in, like you mentioned, Leo, both including the booth and also getting an overview of all the talks and getting the event page available on our tag website. So I think this is what the most of the work currently goes into. This is basically a very short status that I can come up with at this point, and then there is a meeting tomorrow. So you are welcome to join if you would like to learn more, or help us as well with the specifically with the, especially with the activities for the upcoming KubeCon and Cloud Native Con.
Right. And then also one thing. So, what is the timeline about Cloud Native Sustainability Week? So we had today before this meeting and also earlier today, a meeting about the Cloud Native Sustainability Week 2024, which is also part of Working Group Comms. So this is also happening. We will focus on this a lot after KubeCon, because now we kind of focus on this event and then we tackle the next one. But there's a lot of traction again on the event, which is great. I think there's also opportunity to improve it, connect the meetups better and so on to make it even better this time. But I think that's it for now for Working Group Comms. And then we can move to the next working group, Green Reviews. Nikki or Ross or Antonio.
Yep, I can definitely start with some updates. We're hard at work. We're working on the collaboration with Falco, the pipeline design and the test result output. So we're all kind of taking ownership of different aspects and also trying to make the architecture leaner, thanks to Leo, your feedback, and everyone's working very well together. We do want to work towards our milestone that we have for KubeCon. And you're welcome to join the Green Reviews channel on Slack if you'd like to follow the updates or look at the issue board that we have. I think there's the issue board is linked in the doc here. Yeah, I won't go into more specific details. That's kind of the overview. We also have the public Grafana instance that Ross, would you like to give updates also on the infrastructure and automation side of things?
Yes, sure. So yeah, Nikki, it was great the docs you added for Grafana. So Grafana is now accessible, so you can view the Kepler dashboard. We're still working on kind of improving access. So the next step on that is having an elastic IP and having a domain, which we should be able to work to quite soon. But yeah, I think that's it. We're trying to improve access to make it easier for people to contribute. But yeah, that's all I'd really highlight on the infrastructure side.
And we're going to deprecate the design doc because it's not really scaling well. It's not easy to follow changes and updates. So we're moving first everything that has been decided and already implemented to the docs. And also Christina and I are working on a docs website, hopefully soon. Yeah, you can follow, there's currently the infrastructure side of things and the collaboration with CNCF project side of things, and more docs will come soon. Yeah, I think that's all the updates I have.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening in the working group, so a lot of issues to tackle. A lot of work has been already done, but is also ahead of us. So in the middle of things, very interesting, very challenging technical project, I think, especially considering that we are community volunteering for this work. But very interesting. Yeah, definitely would recommend joining the TAG ENV Working Group Green Reviews channel. There's like a longer discussion happening, I think yesterday or the day before, about how to structure the pipelines and so on. So if you would like to contribute a little bit more technically, this is a great group. Are there any questions for Working Group Green Reviews?
Shout out to our contributors. A few of them are in this call, like Dipankar and Raimundo, Jochen, Christina, everyone Ross, obviously, everyone who's contributed. Thank you. Sorry, there's like more people, but okay, I'm going to.
There are always more people
Yeah,
to thank.
Leo, William, yeah. Everyone's contributing
Yeah.
ideas, things, Marlo, Valeria. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we are in the middle of things, but I think it's already like, I think a good milestone to reach. All the things that we already did, everybody together. All right. Let's move to the projects. So we started the roadmap planning of this year, 2024, in January. And from all of these discussions, kind of 3 projects emerged. And one of them is already kind of has leads or people who would like to drive this project. So maybe just to give a little bit of context. So a working group is kind of like a group which is not subject of kind of getting closed, but a project has like a finite date. So it has like a clear deliverable. So for example, writing like a white paper. So there's like a project around this because it takes more time than just closing an issue. It's quite an amount of work you need to put in. And for this, we have somebody from the community to drive this. So we just have somebody who takes this on, drives the discussion in the community. And the first one, the proposal is about Kubernetes. So something which is very important in the CNCF, but we have not looked specifically at Kubernetes in this tag yet. But I mean, it's like the main kind of cluster ecosystem builder kind of in the community. So I think it's very great that we have people who would like to take this on. So there is this issue open proposal, which gives like information about the impact scope, auto scope. And I think today is also Marta and Jakob with us. Both of them would like to lead this project. So this meeting now is also just a time to get eyes on this proposal, just to share a little bit of feedback. We already talked about this proposal a couple of weeks ago, but Are there maybe, I don't know, Jakob or Marta, would you like to give just like your point of view of the project or anything?
Yeah, I can just quickly go through what we plan to do in this project, Marta and I. So, yeah, obviously the title is Best Practices for Environmentally Sustainable Kubernetes Clusters. So the best practice is kind of the end goal for this project. So creating some recommendations about how Kubernetes administrators can run their Kubernetes clusters if they want to do it in an environmentally friendly way. So as described in the scope of the project proposal, we are only focusing on cloud-based Kubernetes clusters, and will just use like data or knowledge that has already been created. So we will not kind of create some new experiments to find out some new stuff. We will kind of try to collect all the kind of the knowledge that we have in this community and generally about Kubernetes and sustainability in a trustworthy place, kind of whereas CNCF is kind of the author or the publisher of this information. So it is possible, hopefully, then for Kubernetes administrators to kind of go to a trustworthy source and find some various kinds of recommendations depending on their situation. So, as you mentioned, there is this project will be completed. So the deliverables is a guide or a kind of an actionable list of best practices. And for each of these best practices, we may add some extra material or background information for the recommendations, kind of talking about why we have come up with these recommendations. So as you mentioned, Martha and I has taken the co-lead for this project, but we are very welcome for anyone who wants to contribute to kind of help in with this project and kind of say what you want to say about it. Yeah, it's just kind of it is a proposal now, so I guess it has to be accepted before we start. But I don't know if it's just a formality or how that works. But we have talked with I think it was Max to sponsor this project, as he created the initial project idea.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, so in the past, so the tag is about like 2 years old, not that much. So we are quite forming and norming still. And I think a little bit more like not too much structure, but a little bit more structure, that we are clear about, okay, who is driving a project, what are we actually doing in the project, checking in on the project, and so on. Also giving kind of like a shout out to those people who are leading the project, because it takes quite an amount of work. So having like a more credibility that this is actually happening is kind of what we were thinking about, giving a little bit more structure. But this is the first project we kind of start in this manner. So we can shape it out however we like. I think this already gives more idea also to all of us in the call and in the community, that you can contribute here, who are actually the people to talk to, and so on.
Yeah, and can I just add, I forgot to mention that we have a Slack channel for the project. So if you want to kind of just reach out about the project and maybe want to contribute, then you can just reach out in the Slack channel and we can figure something out.
Awesome. All right. So the plan for every project, also for everybody here, who's just interested is to have like one tracking issue where you can have all the information kind of, okay, this is the channel, these are the people who are driving this, where's the proposal, like the kind of the charter or the outline of the project and so on. So having everything sort of like in one tracking issue. And then if there's like need, we can create, of course, like multiple other issues to track any sorts of work. But so in the future, hopefully we will have a couple of tracking issues. So if you are in the future interested in checking out any project, this can be then a great place to contact. And those projects will also be part of the website. So we already have, do I have the website open somewhere? So we have under about working groups and projects, and the projects are currently empty, but the communities one will be the first one. So you can also find then more information about it here. Right. But if you have like any comments about this proposal, feel free to read through it, leave your comments, and then we can get started with the project.
Can I just also add something that we talked about the size, and we understand that it's since it's the first project and it can be really big in scope potentially. We wanted to start simple, so we don't have an ambition to create an exhaustive list from the beginning, but just identify maybe the biggest changes you can get started with, and then there's nothing stopping us from having a second iteration of improving it or expanding on it.
Yeah, sounds great. I think that's a very wise thing to do, keeping it simple at first, having a baseline, and then we can iterate over. Also checking out the other 6, the communities maintainers, working kind of on all the CAPS enhancements of Kubernetes, and just get the feeling and keep the ball rolling, sort of. So I think that's very great. All right. Are there any things about this project, best practices for environmental sustainability in Kubernetes? Otherwise, we can move on. Thank you so much already, Jakob and Martha, for taking this on. I think it's very much needed. William also wrote this. This project is absolutely needed. So really appreciate it. And let's move to the open discussion items. So the first one is from Jochen about the landscape document. And there are actually, I think, no, okay, that's the only one about the landscape document. Right, so there's an issue open to rewrite the landscape. So I think most of you are familiar, but we have on our website this tab, landscape, which is one big document about all sorts of things about cloud native sustainability. The aim is to give like an overview, so have the landscape of cloud native sustainability. What are the projects? What are also like, for example, challenges, so methodology or organizations, so all sorts of things. But there are like a couple of limitations we kind of were already aware of when we wrote this, but we figured end of last year it was a good time to bring this up again and rewrite this, and Jochen was kind of stepping up to reiterate over it. And I think you shared last week or the week before like an initial draft.
Yeah, my first chapter, I shared it. So for those of you who are not familiar with the discussion and everything surrounding the rewriting of the landscape document, essentially, I proposed that we untangle the current document and add a little more background to it. And that's what I think I have done, or in the first chapter that I linked, or that I published. That's not quite published. That I put onto my fork. What I've essentially done is I outlined how I want to untangle this document by basically establishing 4 different groups of people, or 4 different groups of interest, which are the manufacturers of the hardware, the providers of data centers, or the operators of data centers, the providers of cloud services and cloud service providers, and last but not least, the application developers or engineers. And I explain a bit that these I don't know, clusters basically stem from the supply chain, but in the supply chain you have a lot more people that are involved, like energy companies or energy providers, resource providers, recycling facilities, and so on and so forth, which I believe go beyond the scope of cloud, because recycling is important whether the cloud exists or it doesn't. Just like energy generation through renewables like solar, wind, geothermal, whatever. This does not fall within the scope of the CNCF or within the scope of the tag. Therefore, I settled on those 4 so that we can kind of keep our focus. And what I want to do in the next 2 chapters is basically provide information and insights for those 4 groups, so that they can find the information they need more quickly. Right now, this is all bundled up into one big document, and the context changes frequently. So it is hard for people who are application developers, for instance, to read this document, because sometimes it mentions stuff that is only important to data center providers. Sometimes it mentions stuff that's only important to cloud service providers. And by kind of making this, how do I say? By naming these groups and giving them a name and giving them a range of responsibility, we can then sort issues into those ranges of responsibility. Yeah, I think these links, they don't work. They don't work yet. They don't work yet. I'm sorry. You need to scroll through this. Yeah. So as I mentioned, this is just a draft. So these personas, I called them, are what I believe are the 4 groups of people that we should focus on. I need feedback on whether this makes sense, if you think that more groups should be involved, or that I should maybe split this into, I don't know, application engineers and architects and I don't know what. Yeah, so this would be tremendously helpful, because, as I mentioned, I want to build the other 2 chapters on top of what I laid out here. Yeah. And last but not least, I need to know whether this is actually readable, whether or not this makes any sense. And in the end, whether you find any kind of errors in my grammar, in my writing, I want to know. I need to know, because we want to publish, or I would love to publish within the next month, just before KubeCon, so that we can have this ready and announce it at KubeCon EU. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I talked way too much. Questions, answers, please give me feedback.
So a couple of things. I think already, I mean, thanks so much for putting all this work into this. That's already big chunk of rewriting the document. I was just because you talked about the personas. So what we could do is having something similar as contributor strategy. So they used to have, are you a maintainer or are you a contributor? And then have like different pages. So kind of we could have like something similar. So that we have like, are you, I don't know, a software engineer, or are you an architect, or whatever kind of person. So the personas in those kinds of columns, and then you click on it, and then you have more kind of like a structure for these, focusing on these kind of user groups. So this might help. So I have not read this document, but we need obviously people to review it. I think what would be nice if we could move this right now. In the meantime, currently it's in a draft document, in a draft state, and I think it would be helpful if it's like on Google Docs, because in Google Docs there is just features like suggestions, and you can write comments to it. I think from a user.
Absolutely, and that would be actually a very nice idea. Yeah, that would also, because
Can
you
I give
could-
one comment to that? Because it's already done. It's I added the comment like 5 minutes before we brought up this topic actually on the issue. It's already available in the Google
Okay.
Doc.
Okay,
So you
great.
can
I
share
will
the
find the
link.
Google Doc and I will
yeah.
transfer this information onto it, and then
I moved it all. I moved your
Oh,
first
you already
chapter
did.
to that Google Doc, so it's available there. So you can keep working on that one, and other folks can go and contribute and comment and whatever.
Thank you.
So don't worry, it's available now,
Perfect.
so you could
Awesome.
check that out. Yeah.
Right, that's already great. Ahead of the curve, Christina, as always.
That's because we mentioned it at the at Working Group Comms last week, so that's the update. I forgot.
So you're actually 1 week behind schedule. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, right. So next topic, I think what would be helpful is to discuss this. We don't need to discuss this like on a weekly basis, but in the working group comms meeting maybe as well. Not sure. Maybe also get a little bit more help, so you don't need to do it all on your own. So I think if it's like if more people write the document, there's already like more eyes on it, and people also kind of cross-review their code, not code in this case, but text. So maybe we can give a shout in the TAG Environmental Sustainability channel if you folks will kind of buddy up with you on this. I think that would be helpful. And then if there are like specific things, maybe write this up in the issue, so we can take a look. The doc.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that's good to move this to Google Docs. It helps a lot, just writing comments and all those kinds of things. And then maybe, so what I shared here before, maybe we can have something similar. But we can also do this, like if we plan, I mean, the timeline to have this published before KubeCon is kind of tight. Not sure if we can make it. I mean, it would be good, but but if we plan, I mean, at the end, maybe we can also have like some sort of document, so it does not need to be like crazy refined as the contributor website, which we have here. So this can also be maybe updated like after KubeCon. So we start first with like some kind of document which we share, maybe also to just have like this document at KubeCon so people can look at it, give feedback during the conference. And then after the conference, we can move it to some format like this, which is even more user-friendly than clicking through a PDF or something like that.
I think so too, yeah.
right. Are there any more discussion items about the landscape document? So if you're interested in supporting this, so there's the, I think it's already shared. Yes, there's already the issue shared. It's 302. So if you would like to take a look at the document, all the links are in the comments below this issue. You can send it again, would be great. It's quite a bit of work to rewrite this. We have already a landscape document, but rewriting it takes quite a while. So okay, moving to the next one, which is from Kara. She's not here, as I mentioned before. She has to travel. Move to next meeting. Okay, so probably we can skip this one.
Maybe a short shout out and call out. So the thing is, like, we have set up a regular meeting. I think the next regular meeting for the learning pass is next Tuesday, I believe. Should be in our calendar. Going through the link, you will also find somewhere the document which is linked up. Kara proposed to put it on hold, waiting for the landscape and roadmap. I'm not sure why it should be aligned or yeah, needs to wait for the landscape document. Yet I found it more interesting to keep it aligned with the Kubernetes best practice, because I think this is way more closer to it and relevant actually, and to have a co-motion here, providing a learning path, bundle together ideas and steps and approaches, and pointing towards relevant implementations and best practices on other places. Yeah, but nevertheless, there's somewhere on the bottom, I believe, the link to the document where you can see some of the write-ups.
Okay, yeah. So, right. I think it would be best to discuss this if Kara is back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the reasons why I think so, like, kind of bundling our strength probably is the idea. So, not that the idea is, or working on a learning path is not worth it. It's the opposite. I think it would be very beneficial to have something like this. And also, like, I mean, the landscape document goes like in a similar direction, right? So we want to exchange ideas and give people like guidance. So at the end, I think has a synergistic effect with the landscape document, with the communities project, which we are starting, and also in general with the working group comms efforts. Yeah, let's discuss it. If Kara is back and Marlo, maybe if Marlo is also here. The other Marlo, not Marlo in who is joining this meeting, Marlo Weston. And then we can see. I mean, if there's like support from other folks in the community, I think it makes a lot of sense. In the last meetings, I think was a little bit, I don't know if there's a lot of traffic, but we will see. I'm Western, have two names. Ah, okay. And you're the Western I was talking about. All right. Okay. And I think is this already the last one? Please populate your KubeCon talks on this list. I think we can also do just a sweep through the schedule. But if you have like any events which are maybe also not on the schedule, feel free to drop them here. As I said in the beginning, prepping for KubeCon, having like good overview. So what all the talks are, maybe also like meetups and things like this. We are trying to work this out. So there's the link. All right. Are there any more things you would like to discuss? We have still about 15 minutes. All right. If that's not the case, we can close this meeting a little bit early, which is always nice. Tomorrow is the working group comms meeting. As I said before, feel free to join. Feel free to check out the links in chat, but also linked here. Any support for landscape document, which would be very helpful. I think that's one of the major things where we need to maybe drive more engagement right now. And talk to you all soon. Have a great rest of the day and take care.
Thanks. Bye.